All round, there it is. Happy days, we're just getting straight on with it. Right then guys, welcome to another episode of Hooked. My name's John Murray and I'm an angling addict, and today I'm fishing on the River Trent back down at Fiskerton with the Yorkshire Bandits. So today I've drawn peg 28, or permanent peg 28 down here, and this is a view of it. So just give you a shot downstream, quick shot upstream. Looks like pretty much most of the Trent. Now it is running quite steady today, so with that in mind I've set up 5 different rods. Basically I've got 4 rods set up and a whip. So I've got the 17-foot Acolyte float set up, a 14-foot plus which has got the waggler on. The 17-foot's got a 3-gram big stick on it. I've got the 13-foot medium heavy sphere, that's got a 60-gram cage feeder on it, a metal cage feeder. Both feeder rods are set up on Matrix 0.10 braid and they've both got shock leaders on. We've got the Viper MK13S, it's the Mark II version, and that's my big fish rod. In the sphere I've actually got a 3-ounce tip, and in the Viper I've got a 4-ounce tip, and I'm fishing a 90-gram feeder on the Viper. And then the only other thing I've got set up is the Acolyte whip, which is set up on a 1.5-gram pencil float. So I've just got up to the business end. I've got a 1.5-gram pencil on here, shotted with an Olivet, a few droppers down the line. I'll show you them in detail as we go along. The waggler rod's got a 2AA Preston Peacock waggler on it, and that's just shotted basically shirt button style all the way down. It starts off with double number 8s and it keeps going down all the way until we get down to a micro swivel and a size 18 carbon match hook. So pretty usual setup. Again, the big stick float is the rig that I used out on the River Hull last week, so there's no change in that. 3-gram Olivet, couple of number 8s, again a micro swivel. So that's the setup guys. Plan is put a few loads out on the big feeder rod, leave it sat there, get down the inside, start fishing the stick, maybe the waggler if the wind starts blowing downstream, and possibly the whip if I can get them coming in close. I've forgotten my emp today, so it's purely a maggot attack down the inside. I've got a little bit of worm for the feeder, so it'll just be worm or pellet on the hook on the feeder, or possibly a boilie if I'm feeling brave. Right, you know the drill guys. Thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode every time I upload one. I'm going to get sat on my box, we're about ready for the all-in. So on today's bait tray we've got a few pinkies if the going's hard, some chopped worm for the feeder, we've got red and white maggots to fish on the float, the whip, and basically try them on the feeder as well if we need to. The usual worms. I've got a few pellets with me today, and I have got some boilies behind me. I don't think I'm going to use them. It's a bit of a risk sitting out for a barbel on here. And then today's ground bait mix is actually Dynamite Baits Big Fish. It's the Frenzied Hemp and Halibut, and I've added a few sort of robin reds and halibut pellets in there myself. Not too many, just a scattering. And if there's a barbel that comes along, hopefully we'll get hold of it. So I'm just going to start out, get a few loads out in the feeder, put a bit of maggot in there, bit of chopped worm, and plug it off. We've already got pellet in there as well, don't want to overdo it with a pellet. Probably going to put 6 big loads of this straight out and then start feeding the inside lines. And that's it, that's time! Time! So I'm not clipping up today because if a barbel comes along, the big fish in the Trent, and I want it to be able to run. There's a good old flow on. See that 4-ounce tip's bending a fair bit. Always a good power on the Trent. So I'll just get these feeders dropped in there, bit of bait down. I'll start feeding the inside line. And while we're doing that, hopefully we can pick up a fish on the feeder, be it a bream, a barbel, a chub, perch, roach, anything. The hook length on this setup is 0.26 power line. I've got a size 14 Quorum Expert specimen hook on, so I'm not messing about. It is on 0.10 braid, but it should be plenty strong enough with the shock leader. Got a matrix tapered shock leader on it. Just want to get this bait in there and get over it. Probably just put 4 loads in, don't want to overdo it, and then go out with the 5th. The medium heavy rod's set up a bit lighter, so I'm struggling to get a bite on this heavy hook length and big hook. And go down to the usual sort of 0.13 and 0.13 bottom and a size 16 hook. But we're going to go out positive to start with. You get away with a big hook when you're fishing worm. Thread it on. There we go. So temperatures overnight, well, certainly this morning, 5 degrees. When I came past Doncaster, it was 3 degrees on the car. So it's been a cold snap. Whether the fish will feed or not, I don't know. It's quite mild now. Certainly cold first thing. We're kicking off at 11 today, so it's 5 past now. There's quite a few fish showing down the inside though. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to spray maggots, catch well on the float rigs. So we'll just start building it. We've got the whip for fairly close in. We've got the waggler and the bollo to fish a little bit further out and obviously get a bit further down the swim. Waggler if the wind gets up awkward. Bollo if it stays blowing upstream. A couple of little nudges on the tip, probably a perch this, chewing at the worm. And that is a big drop back. We've got something on here, decent, absolutely straightened up, did that. This is a good fish to start. Oh, it's towing, it's waking up. Could be a barbel. Drop that down out of my way. This is a barbel, we want it in. Just dipping away was the worm. It just straightened up completely. The fish was on. Certainly going quite well. Just hope everything holds. It's got to be a barbel. Oh, it's finding some kind of snags, I think. Have to get some pressure on him. Good fish. Where is he? Do not snagged me up. Now I wish I'd put a bigger landing net on. Certainly hugging bottom. Easing the clutch off because when you see this net, oh, it's a beautiful barbel as well. That's a proper fish. You've seen the net. What an arm wrencher. Thought I was going to be able to scoop him then. Not so. They often do it to you. I don't know who's more tired, me or him. Oh, he's not ready yet. I'll try and bring him upstream a little bit. Just drop him back down into the net. But he does not want to give up. If we can just, yes! What a start! That's going 10 to the dozen. What about that for a first bite of the match? That is a beautiful, beautiful fish. Nailed him on the inside. Just a little half piece of worm. see if we can just get the hook out. I need the disgorger. There we go. Just need to take a moment. Absolutely shaking after that fish. Am I glad I geared up? I don't know what he weighs, but he's got to be knocking 6 or 7 pound. Absolutely stunning fish. Let's get him in the net. He can go for a rest. Right, well I guess we'll go with that again. We'll get back to feeding the inside, because we may need silvers as backup weights, but that's a cracking start. Something nudging this again. This is how it started last time, just little nudges and then bang, straight drop back. Ah, this is looking promising. Maybe a perch though. I said that last time though. Turned out to be 6-7 pound barbel, I would say. Yeah, you just get these little tip tremors. I wonder if this is barbel we're sat on. That's tremoring again. Oh, just about drop back, little tremble, 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 tremble. I might have to hit this. Don't think it's going to hoof over, so it's possibly a smaller fish. Okay, let's strike. See what's going on. Yeah, small fish. Well, we've gone from the sublime to the ridiculous. Well, we'll stick with this for a little bit longer. You just never know. There might be another Bertie waiting for us out there. Another drop back, and that is another barbel on. My goodness. Savage drop backs. Looks like we're in for another battle. This fish seems to be fighting right from the off. There we go. He's ripping. You've just got to try and gain a bit of line on them. Powerful fish. So that was worm tipped with a maggot that time. red maggot. Need 2 hands to make any headway on these. I'm starting to ache already pulling back in this flow. Oh, it feels like he's gone a bit solid down there. He's there, just hugging bottom. Absolute zoo creature. Steady pressure. Just use the clutch of another click. Get closer. Nearly onto the leader now. Very close to the leader. But he's not going to be ready at the first time of asking, that is for sure. So we're on the leader. Try and bring him upstream again. If I can mug him first time, that'd be a miracle. Now he's going. Oh, got a branch on the line as well. That's a nightmare. That is not good. Get rid of that. Don't like that. Could end up knocking the fish off. Dear. I'm hoping that branch has come free. It might have. Yeah. So, fish on. Just had a first sight of him. Right, he's going up. I'm going to sink this net, stick it on my keep net down there. Stunning fish. Maybe not quite as big as the first one, but a beautiful, beautiful barbel nonetheless. and his hours. Couple of airy moments in there with the branch. That's another lovely barbel, possibly about £5. Absolutely glorious fish. Let's get him unhooked. There we go. Easy as that. You can go and join your mate. So 50 minutes in, 2 barbel in the net. It's another fish on worm, but this is no barbel. Possibly a perch, maybe a small chub. Oh, I just managed to find something. There's a big snag down there, maybe a few branches. What is this? I feel a bad fish, it's just no barbel. Possibly a chub this. No, it's a perch. Hooks out in the net. Not a huge fish, but it's all weight. Okay, just 5 minutes more waiting on the tip. See if we can get another barbel. Then we're going to come inside on the silvers lines. Well, I've been feeding for an hour and a half. I'm hoping a few fish are queuing up for us down there. Let's see if we can get a backup weight going. While we're waiting for another barbel, I've done a couple of other videos on the Trent, so if you want to check those out after this one, I'll put a link to one of them up here, or just go and search through my channel. Okay, I think the barbel line is done for now. We'll come back onto it, maybe with half an hour to go. We'll just see what we can get out on the silvers. If it's no good, I may just go on the ordinary feeder setup, but we've got 3 different float setups to have a go at here, so I'm hoping we can get a few silvers out at least. So I think I'll start short on the whip. I've got a 1.5 gram pencil float, 1.25 gram Olivet, probably a good 3 foot down to the actual hook, and there's only like sort of 3 number 10 droppers on that, so a nice light setup below the Olivet. Let's see if we can catch close to start with. Smidgen of flow down this line. Probably about 7 foot deep on the whip. Shelves off 8-9 foot as you get a couple more rod lengths further out. No immediate bite there, which is, you know, well, we did have a bite. Possibly a bleak. There might not be much of value out here. There we go, look, that's a fish and that's a bleak. Ooh. Gone again. It's a bit better. Roach. Let's try double maggot. Ooh. Took a bit longer to get a bite on double maggot. I was right on the limit of the run there. and then missed it. Go back to single. Keep the feed going in. There we go. It's another one. Small dace. So these are very small fish at the moment. I wonder if we need to get out into the flow a bit more to find something a bit better. Maybe. Another roach. That's a better fish. That's a nice roach. So the wind's getting up a bit, which could make fishing the whip a bit awkward, in which case the waggler will probably come into play. I think there's a lot of fish. I'm just going to have to try and feed a few of the smaller ones off. This peg absolutely lends itself to whip fishing. The pace is just spot on. Six metres to hand, nice. Oh. From here. Right, well I don't think we've had one for a while, so I'm going to say, cue the music, time for a montage. Right, I'm just going to shorten the rig off. Seems to me, last couple of casts, I cast really quite close into me, and the better fish are sat down there. So I'm going to move down to 5 metres, take a bit of line off the top end of this whip, and fish a bit closer to me. The wind's really blowing in and upstream at me at the moment, so the bollow would be a better approach a bit further out. But if I can catch short, I can catch fast. I'm just going to replumb the line. We're really not going to fish far out at all. Yeah, it's quite a bit shallower there. Surprised that the fish are sitting so shallow, but I will lay a bit on. It's maybe 8-inch over depth on that point. Hopefully I can start to feed by hand now. So even at this, I'm plenty far enough out. And there we go. Another decent quality fish. It's a perch. Still can't feed by hand though. Wind's too strong. Right, the swim's just gone a little bit funny. I'm still getting bites, but I'm not connecting with many, and certainly not catching as fast as I was. At times the flow really picks up. Sometimes it's very, very slow, but at other times it's moving through quite quickly, and I don't know whether that's making a difference or not, but I think I'm just going to try a bit further out on the stick float, see if we can find any better quality, because I'm not sure what's happened, but I had those few fish quite close in, a couple of decent ones, and then all of a sudden I couldn't get a bite down there, and I've had to go that little bit further out. So I'm not going to alter this rig, I'm going to keep it short so that we can come back in on it, but I'm going to pick the stick up, go that little bit further out, see if we can find some better quality fish. Thankfully the wind's eased off. That was getting troublesome. See if we just get out onto that slightly further line into the flow. Possibly do with the orange top on out there, and that's a fish straight away. Not really any better quality. Right, the wind is awkward. Just trying to cast out, it's sort of blowing back at me, so I don't know if this is going to be any better. The stamp of fish seems to be exactly the same. I've put the orange top on and the light conditions have changed again, so I can't see this either. So I'm not sure float fishing is going to be the way to go. I may go and sit back out for another barbel, but we've got a couple of hours to go. Quite a lot of boat traffic out at the moment, which means winding back in on the feeder every time they come by. Can't risk staying out there. There's a lot of willow blades in the water as well now. wind stays down, casting's not too bad. Could try the waggler. It's an upstream wind though, so don't really think that's the presentation that's required. It's another small fish. So we are catching quite quickly on the stick. But I might catch quicker if I get back on the whip. Certainly if we're going to stick with this size of fish. Hopefully the funny spell is just short-lived. It certainly doesn't stay around long, that big stick float though. As soon as it's in and down, there's a fish there. They're all tiny fish. So I don't think it's worth continuing with this because it's slow. If you can get the fish coming back on the whip, I might as well stick with that. The light conditions have really changed. Lots of white water out there now. There we go. Oh, that's a better fish. Probably a perch. No. Nice dace. Them's what we want. Something with a bit of meat on the bones. There we go, another one. This is better. Getting better at this. Still plenty of roach down there. Just backing off on the feed at the moment. I'm sure there's plenty down there. Might just bring us a few better fish. Normally, if you have to dace, putting lots of maggots in works, but there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of dace in here. Some very rapid bites. They're either dace or better roach. That's a better fish. Yeah, nice dace. So we've got a few decent dace in the swim now. Lovely fish. Another nice dace. Fin perfect. Swim's just gone a little bit funny again. Took 5 roach on the bounce, and then all of a sudden they just switched off. Just had a boat go through. I don't know whether that's made a difference, but I'm just going to give this another 15 minutes. Then I'm going to go back out, look for another barbel or a bream or anything that's a bit better, because it takes an awful lot of these tiny little fish to make up one of those. If I can get one more bonus fish out, that'd be beautiful. Keep these coming fast and at a decent stamp, you probably make a reasonable weight on them. It'd take a lot of doing to get 10 pound of these little fish out today. There's just no better perch amongst them, or I'm not getting into them anyway. Lots of tiny roach, a few dace mixed in with them. Lots of rapid bites that you don't hit, like that one there. I just wonder if anybody else has had any barbel. I think I've heard Glyn focusing on the feeder quite a lot today, so it makes me wonder if he's had some below me. Gotta get them out though. I'm not sure they'll feed in this middle part of the day either. Early morning. We had a chance, but it's probably worth having another go for them. Right. 2 bites there, completely unhittable. Nice little roach just to finish the whip session on. So we'll give it half an hour on the tip, on the big gear, see if we can find another barbel. If we don't get any indications, I'll have the last half an hour on the whip, just bolster the weight. Have a chuck shorter while I wait for this boat to clear. It's a rattle on the tip. It's been pretty motionless for the last 20 odd minutes. Just came in shorter before that boat came through. Just a little tremor or two. Let's hope it either straightens out or whacks over. That sun's coming up now as well. Coming out from behind the cloud, making spotting the tip difficult. Right, last few minutes on the tip. Back out long. Okay, it doesn't look like we're going to get anything else on the tip. Certainly had nothing in the last half an hour. So we'll call that a day on that. Finish up on the whip. So I've kept the bait going in. Backed off for the last 5 minutes. See if there's some fish sat there waiting for us. Just bolster this weight. Hope nobody else has had any quality fish today. But there could be bream, there could be anything down here, chub. No bite. Flowing quite hard again out there. Strange how it picks up and then slows off. Well, that's surprising. We're just not getting a bite. 3 or 4 runs through there with the whip. So the river's just completely switched off now. The sun's glaring on it from above though. It's really quite clear. Can't believe we can't tempt a bite from a roach though. Can't buy a bite on the whip now. Whoa, half decent fish on the whip here. First bite I've been able to tempt in the last half an hour. Oh my goodness, what's this? Must be a perch. Whoa! It's off. That was not a perch. That has just smashed me up. What was that? Maybe that was the reason we couldn't get a bite. Chub, barbel, whatever it was, it decided it was going. Three minutes left. Time! Right, well that's time guys. I never managed to get a fish out in that last hour, but I've got a couple of beauties in the net as you've seen earlier. Whether that's enough today, I've no idea. Somebody could have had a bag full of bream and totally blitzed that weight, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Whatever that fish was at the end, it was never coming in on a flick tip, so whether it was a pike that took a roach, or I think possibly that was a chub, to be fair. And there's no stopping them on the whip. Right, I'm going to get wrapped up. Let's wait for the weigh-in. What bits? Left the end put on, didn't I?
Is this where Danny?
I had him on. I had him on. I had him on. Jesus, where's he going?
You want some weighing separate?
No.
See what they are.
Well, go on then. I think that's the biggest one. Other one's smaller.
£1. £1 and 3/4. Yeah, that'll do. 6.10.
6.10 that one. Yeah.
15.7.
That wasn't a bad guess, was it, eh? From here.
15.7 and 3/4.
15 and 7 3/4.
Well done, John.
Cheers. Somebody just took us a snap of that. There we go then. £15.7 today. Couple of beautiful barbel. Let's get them back.
Right. What is what it called? Yeah, walrus. Walrus.
It's been Glenn's day for snapping stuff today.
What you broke?
Don't ask.
What, anti-broke?
First time out of the bag.
Go on, have you? Cadence 18.4.
Oh, cadence, that's it.
Snap top middle section. Hey. 5, 2.5.
Oh,
Hold on, Glenn. Nice little net that.
oh, I came splashing.
Perching a days.
We're getting bigger fish on the feeder.
I only put worm on there.
Too small. So it's still only like 3 ounces instead of 1 ounce.
Yeah. I can hear you putting feeder in quite a lot today, like.
Yeah, I did. I put loads of maggots in.
Might be close, might be close.
Nice net, Clive.
Yeah.
Look at all them.
Got bonuses and all.
I know.
I haven't even seen one fish as big as that.
Lovely net.
Oh, it's took some
A
in
couple
there.
in there.
You done this before? £1, 1.
Oh, you
done
couldn't.
you, done you?
I thought I had 10 there. Only £8.11 there?
Yeah.
Are we sure that's right?
Never.
Oh, no, that looks twice as much as what I had. That's 100. Yeah, mine.
I got small stuff for shot mine, yeah?
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah. They're all a Clive.
Yeah.
Like Pete's legs. Right, there you have it, guys. A win's a win. I've managed to take the match. £15.7 I've weighed in. I think Pete was second with about £11. I'm not sure what's come third. Possibly Clive with about £8.9, somewhere around there. So I'll get all the results up for you now. But there was only 7 of us fished today. But like I say, a win's a win, so I'm happy with that. Right, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thoroughly enjoyed catching them barbel this morning, even if it was out in the mouth stuff. I think the old adrenaline's just about settled down. So if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Right, thanks for watching, guys. Till the next one, tight lines.